Hello and welcome to another of my pipe smoking videos. Very nice of you to drop by. I have a pipe, have yet to pack it and to smoke it. And this is one of those smoking videos in which I sort of pontificate about life, the universe and everything, and why not? That's what we're here to do, is it not? Is that not the nature of the old pipe smoking business? To cogitate with the world and fathom out things. Now, you may notice that I am wearing some warm clothes. It does feel a little autumnal out there at the moment, and by golly, yesterday it came down with the old rain. Participation. Is it precipitation? Not participation, that's where you participate in something, isn't it? Precipitation is that stuff that comes down from the sky, and it came down rather rapidly. But mind you, we were very much in need of it on the old land, don't we? The farmers must be rejoicing, but they probably want a hell of a lot more, because the land over here, where I am, in this land mass that we call Britain, commonly referred to as Britain, it hasn't rained for a lot. We've had a beautiful summer. It's been absolutely fantastic. But has it been too dry? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody said to me that although they got the hay in, there needs to be a certain amount of moisture content in the hay, and there isn't enough. I don't know how true that is. Maybe somebody, if you're in the old farming community, you could tell me. But it did look like recently the hay tractors were rapidly bouncing about all over the place, gathering in the hay, which is good to see. It'd be nice to know that there is a lot. But I am told that some of the grass now is as brown as anything. Whether the rain will have saved some of that, I don't know. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it's not too late. It's still only August, isn't it? It's not December, for goodness sake. When I went to Cumbria to take part in an event up there, it was much lusher. That's in the Lake District. It was much lusher, beautiful, verdant greens. Now, I've got a cup of coffee in my tractor cup here. I have my pipe, and you might think, well, what's he got? He's got a tin of something. It's labelled, it's got Rainy Day from Ashton on it, and it's also got Black Frigate from some other outfit. And I can tell you, it's neither of those. It's actually a mixture of old bits and pieces that have been left over. So it's just, I can't tell you what it is, but it's a nice and gentle smoke, really. I had some yesterday. Now, I'm dressed like this. You might think, my goodness, Richard, you know, you're dressed... Well, I'm getting used to being a landowner. That's the thing. Julia and I are buying some land, you see. So we're going to be landowners. And one thought, you know, one's got to sort of look the part when you're a landowner. Let's get the pipe lit. It's just, I don't know, about 20 square miles of land. That's all it is, you know. It's a small little thing with a 200-bedroomed house. It's very, very nice, and you know, stables, farms, a few villages. One can dream, can't one? One can dream of all this sort of nonsense. Actually, it's only a couple of acres, to be honest with you, but it's a question of getting into the farming. That's what Julia and I are very keen to do, is to get into the farming world. Farming is a strange thing, isn't it? In this day and age, it's become an industry. I don't think of it as an industry. I've been reading lots of old farming books by authors such as A.G. Street and is it John Stuart Evans and Fred Archer and many others, actually. And if you go back in time to sort of pre-1930s, 1900s, Adrian Bell, here's another one. You realise that farming wasn't so much an industry, it was a way of life, it was an existence, it was subsistence a lot of the time, and selling the a surplus. It was supporting the local community, the village or the town, or being one of many farms that supported the local communities and farms. There's a village about 14 miles from here called Bury, where I live. I don't live in the village, but 14 miles from where I live. And if you walk around that village, you'll see, I think, at least 6 threshing barns, converted into houses now. Very nice. I'm sure the houses are very nice. I think you need a lot of money to live in that village. And if you've got it, why not? But what that tells you when you walk around is there is at least 6 farms. It's a very small village. 6 farms that supported that village and perhaps some of the other surrounding villages, although I dare say some of the other villages also had farms. Now those farms may only have been 50 acres, 100 acres, probably not much more than that. Back in 100 to 100 years ago. These are flint barns, so, you know, they would have been there for a long, long time. May have been part of a bigger estate in its day. But my point is that in the old days you had a lot of small farms surrounding towns and villages, not just one here in a blue moon, not just massive monoculture farms, but lots of small mixed farming with animals, you know, some crops and arable, pasture for animals, chickens, bees, cows, pigs, ducks, the whole works. That's what life was in rural England. And at one point it was all rural England, wasn't it? Pretty much. And we've turned it into an industry. We've turned it into an industry as people have moved to the cities and the towns doing jobs which are unconnected to the land, unconnected to the earth. Jobs in which you could argue is really a load of old rubbish, really. You know, selling insurance and selling computers, or, you know, some of these big companies that do all sorts of, you know, bizarre things, really unnecessary things, not necessary to sustain life. What is necessary to sustain life is growing food and related products that help the farmer grow food. You know, the blacksmith, the farrier, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, all those the tanners, the tanner who helped the leatherer, who made the harnesses for the horses that ploughed the fields, that grew the corn, that made the bread for the, you know, the windmill that ground the corn, the whole thing, the intricacy. I love that. I love that. It was all part of something that we were all part of at one time. Now I feel that we are very much remote from the process of living, the process of surviving, the process of being self-reliant, the process of self-sufficiency and dependency on one another. We've allowed these big corporations, big industry, to do all this stuff for us. And so what do? We watch Netflix. We do dead-end jobs with no interest, no passion. We're not connected to the land. We're in artificial light. We eat crap food from supermarkets. So Julia and I don't know why I keep lighting it. It's lit. It's lit, for goodness sake. Julia and I have made a determination to go back to the land. I've got a new piece of dowel, look. I lost my little one, so I've got a big chunk. That's my tamper. Somewhere on here is a piece of hazel I picked up when I was in the country. When I was in the country, don't you know? Yes, I said, in the country. And although I'm dressed like this, you know, this is wool. This is wool, you know. Wool used to be in England, we used to export wool. English wool was the best in the world. Many a merchant made a fortune from exporting English wool. Sheep are an amazing creature, stupid, but amazing. And their wool we could use so much more. We've gone to all these synthetics and all this, and we get stuff from all over the world. And yet wool is warm, it's waterproof, it's a natural product, it will last a lifetime, it's lovely. And yet we go and, you know, to these cheaper shops for a £5 and buy something which will only last 6 months and then fall to bits. Shoddily made in factories, sweatshops. Why would we want to do that? What have we done, ladies and gentlemen? What have we done in this world that we live in? What have we done? We seem to have accepted a second-rate life. The illusion is that it's a first-rate life, that we can have all these mod cons and sit there with, you know, our television screens and our internet and the digital world and all of this. And actually all we've done is removed ourselves from nature, and we've removed ourselves from the earth and being part of it and having an honourable, laudable occupation to keep us occupied as we break bread, or we earn enough money to break bread with our friends. A bit of nugget of bread and cheese and a small vegetable patch. What have we done? We really have kind of gone off the boil, haven't we? Can we get it back? I think we can. I think we can get it back. My other channel talked about this a bit more, of course, but I think that we have to become more self-reliant. No longer give all the money to the big corporations and no longer get food delivered by these big supermarkets. That we should be growing ourselves as much as we can, or if we can't, we should be supporting those that can grow locally and get back to that nucleus of farmers and landowners who want to grow and supply stuff, and get back to those old crafts that people used to use their hands and make things. Julia and I went on a little whittling course, and we whittled some spoons, and we went on a copper sculpting course where I made a pipe ashtray thing, or a pipe rest out of copper. Julia's got into the whittling. Making things with your own hands instead of, and I'm not talking about going to IKEA and doing self-assembly stuff. I'm talking about getting back to having that sense of achievement, that sense of purpose, that sense of doing something that has meaning again, putting meaning back into life. Not just our life, but the people that we associate with. It's like we had it. Really, at the beginning of the 21st century, we got duped into having wars, didn't we? We got duped into having technology do everything for us. I often joke that the downfall of the human condition was when the television changer came in. You know, you're sitting on a sofa like this, watching the telly, and in the old days, you had to get up and retune the telly on the little dial. And you'd get all snow, fuzz, cross-channel interference, all that kind of stuff, and eventually, move the aerial, and then you got your signal, and you could watch a program. Then the television changer came in. You didn't have to get up, did you? You just press a button. And look at us now. We've been pressing buttons ever since. And we become lazy. We become fat. We're eating the wrong foods. We don't exercise sufficiently. We don't get out and have enough fresh air. We don't sit and smoke our pipes and pontificate and enjoy nature and look at the beauty of nature and look at the world around us and see how marvellously, in some instances, nature is on its own, and in other instances, how man and nature can make something absolutely beautiful to look at. And the aesthetic, you know, beautiful old country farm and some wibbly wobbly buildings and all of that, you know, beautiful quintessential English. It can look beautiful. Even with a K6 telephone box in there, you know, by a village pub and an old-fashioned pump that pumped the water out. What's happened to us? You look around now, people dress shabbily. They don't care. They have no self-respect, it seems. They shuffle along. They look haggard and down. They're not upright. The buildings are mean-looking. They're uniform. They're utilitarian. They're boring. The cars all of the same, pretty much the same boring, dull colours. I mean, think when cars first came into, they were beautiful shapes. Now, no, they've got to be aerodynamic. Aerodynamic, I mean, you know, on the roads, you can only go 3 miles an hour now. Think of the old carriages. They were beautiful, weren't they? The horse and carriages, the pubs, the inns, the taverns. We had it. We had it all. We had it all and we let it go. We've lost it. We've allowed big corporations to make things, councils to take backhanders. I have a picture here of a Spitfire. I may have mentioned it before. It's a beautiful aircraft, isn't it? It's a shame it was an aircraft of war, although it was there to defend rather than attack. A beautiful thing. We used to design beautiful things. I mentioned the K6 telephone box, the old-fashioned telephone, you know, the dial, rotary dial telephone. We used to do some amazing things. What have we done now? We've made things boring and bland. Think of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s kind of fizzled everything out. Once we got to the millennium, it's been dull, hasn't it? Why do they keep playing 70s music, 80s music, 60s music? Very popular, the most popular music of all time, the 60s, 70s and 80s. Classics, where we had bands that stayed the test of time. I know times are changing, but it's almost like we've lost the grip. We're hanging from a cliff. Now you've got music that is digital, boring, AI driven, the whole thing. Doesn't have to be that way though, folks. We can get it back if we are determined. If we can smoke our pipes, enjoy our tobacco, ignore all the nonsense, be individual, be self-reliant, grow our own veg, avoid the supermarkets, limit ourselves on the digital stuff that we muck about with, get back onto the earth, on God's fine earth. We can have it back if we really want it. It's like anything. You can have whatever you want if you really want it. But really wanting it and sitting there wishing are two different things. We've got to want it. We've got to claim it. We've got to go and put a stake in the ground and say, right, I'm having it. This isn't about a country or patriotism or any of that nonsense. It's about values. It's about ethics. It's about being real. That's what I think. I'm fiddling about here. I've got my coffee, which is going cold. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. It'd be a shame to see it all go, wouldn't it? And at the end of the day, everything starts with one small step. And it starts with you and me. We can't cure the world, but we can make a difference. One step at a time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.